All right. Well, I think all of you all in this group know who we are. So I'm Kristen.
I'm Scott.
And we're obviously here at the high school. So today what we want to talk to you guys about and walk you through is Google Classroom, but also how you merge that with your other Google apps that you may already be using. So I know for me, Google Drive has always been a little bit cumbersome as far as when I give a student an assignment and then they send it back to me through Google Drive, and I end up at night with like 50 assignments that have been shared with me, and I'm trying to weed through them and find them, and then sometimes cyberspace, they get lost. So Google Classroom, I feel like, really offers a great way to hone all of that in and for all of one subject to end up exactly in one spot, because let's face it, as a teacher, when we go to grade something, we like it when it's all in one spot and we can grade all of one assignment one right after the other. And so Google Classroom gives us that flexibility. So what I'm going to show you first is what it looks like to be a student in Google Classroom, because the students are going to be the ones that are asking you questions, and if you don't know what it looks like on their end, it's hard to help them figure out what to do because your end looks completely different. So up here, you're going to see the teacher's view if you have it open on your computer, and if you have your iPad, then you're looking at the student's view that most of your students are going to encounter since they only have an iPad. All right, so first off, you see on this page here where it talks about stream, I've added in a couple of assignments just to kind of get you set up so that you can see what it looks like. So we're going to open up this one up here where it talks about a video assignment. So you can uplink YouTube videos in. And so for this one, I set it up as if maybe you were an English teacher, or even maybe if you were showing them a video that you wanted them to critique or something like that. So they can watch the video and open it from here. And then right underneath of it, I have Pep Talk Reflection. So what I want you to do is we're going to pretend like we've watched the video, and I want you to click on Pep Talk Reflection and open that up so that you can see what it looks like. Yep, you're good. So the first page, when you click at the top, it says instructions. So this is where your students would go to find out any directions that they needed for that specific assignment that you have. You can see there that the video is also still there, so they could open the video from there. All right, then at the top of your iPad, where right next to instructions, it says your work. Click on your work, and it's going to take just a moment to load, but you should see a long blue bar that says turn in, and underneath of that, you should see the little Google Doc paper app symbol, and then the assignment that says Pep Talk Reflections - your name. So what this allows you to do in Google Classroom is, instead of your students having to remember that they need to make a copy before they can type in something, you can set it up to automatically make a copy for them. So there's no worry that they're going to type on your document and the next class rolls in and half the answers are up there or anything like that. Plus, if they forget to put their name in it, which happens, you have no worry because their name is now a part of the title. All right, so if you click on the assignment name where it says Pep Talk Reflections - your name, Google Classroom will automatically talk to Google Docs and it will open it up. Now, you could put a writing prompt in here. You could put whatever you want. Let's say that you gave them the writing prompt in the other area. You could just load a blank document so that it would send back to you all of these in a nice, neat format without having 14 emails or 400 emails being sent to you at the end of the day with reflections. So now if you start typing, you'll see that it's active just like a Google Doc. So you can type anything in there that you would want. The kids can type in this and write the reflection. So go ahead and just take a moment, type a message back to me. Make sure they're great messages. Just to kind of walk you through the process. Okay, so you need to install the Google Docs. Okay. Yep. And then it'll open it up for you. Yep. Install. You're going to need Drive, Docs.
Hers doesn't have a keyboard. See, I've got a keyboard.
You can submit once.
Oh, you're not in the app. Here we go. Grab that for you. Once.
Is that true?
What is it?
She's talking about you can unsubmit an answer, a response, but not in classroom. You can send it, as a teacher, you can send it back.
I can send it back to them, and it'll reopen it for them.
Sometimes, I don't know if it depends on the doc, but sometimes they can unsubmit their answer. Like if they're like, oh, I did that wrong, then you go in and hit unsubmit.
Yeah,
sorry. So you hadn't downloaded your app yet?
You were in classroom though, right? So with the Google apps, you have to have them all in order for them to talk to each other. So you got to have Drive, Doc, Slides if you're going to use Google Slides, Sheets if you're going to use the spreadsheet one, and Google Classroom. And your kids will need all of those as well. And then they'll talk and communicate. So as soon as you get that open, it should open right up for you.
So when I did all that, you can go to self-service and load them all. And then I formed a little thing on my desktop with all your apps. Fixed it so all the instructions in one box.
Okay, so I was able to resubmit. Saw that? Because the first submission was good job.
Okay.
The first resubmission was just to make sure.
Okay.
So it does work. As long as you can get the cursor on there and make it live, you can change it around.
Once you have them all, though, you'll be ready to go.
So go back to classroom.
Yes.
All right, now reopen. Yeah.
Now you can type.
There you go. All right, those of you that have already typed in something, all right, I'm going to show you what your kids need to do in order to turn that back in. So if you will toggle your screens, if you know how to do that on your iPad, just kind of double click, and then so you can see the Google Classroom again. Pull Google Classroom back open so that you're looking at it instead. And then you're going to click that long blue bar that says Turn In. Yep. And then you're going to click that long blue bar that says Turn In.
That's when it's final.
And I'm going to come back over here. All right, and you can see over here that over off to the side, it tells me that 6 people have done the assignment and submitted them to me. 15 people haven't. That's because last period we did the other one to kind of keep them. I can go right here now as a teacher. It tells me right here at the top who's done. Tells me right here at the bottom who's not done. And all of my assignments are right here. So all I have to do is click on it. It will open the assignment up. I can give some feedback. All right. Once I'm done typing the feedback, I just close that out. Come over here and find Sandra. I can type in a grade to her if I want, and then I can click return. When it returns, it sends her a notification in Google Classroom that her assignment has been returned. It will tell her her grade, and it also gives her the ability to now regain type typability into that document. So let's say a student turned in something to you and you thought this is not worthy of a grade. You could type in, please redo this assignment, return it to them. They would get the returned. They could then redo it and resubmit it to you to be regraded if they wanted a grade period. So that's what it looks like, the student end to the teacher's end. Now, one of the things, if you will back out and make sure you're looking at this screen again, one of the things that I think is really neat, or that I've done with my non-STEM classes. So these are students that aren't in the STEM program. They've not been infused with technology. This is what I use with them. And I also create for them, underneath the About page, I put an agenda. So a class agenda there. And for you guys, I just simply linked the apps that we would need for today. But I'm going to show you what my actual agenda looks like for my actual class. So this is an ongoing document that I created in Google Docs, and then I simply link into Classroom so that students know when they come in, if they want to know what we're doing today, they can simply go to the agenda. And in the agenda, because let's face it, we all use more than just the Google apps. We all have lots of different apps and lots of different websites and technology that we're infusing into our classroom. And sometimes students can get lost as to where they're supposed to go, when they're supposed to go there, and what that URL address was that was like this long. So this makes all of this nice and clean. Students always go to the agenda. The agenda then sends them out to wherever else they need to be. So, for instance, down here, they could have logged in and checked their agenda, and they know that the third thing we're going to do today is going to require something they need to download. When they click on the hyperlink Adams HD, they tell it to open in Chrome, it automatically sends them to the App Store, shows them the app, and they click download. There's no search involved. There's no missed, is it this picture on the app? It's as simple as that. And you can hyperlink anything into your Google Doc agenda. You can upload PDFs into Drive and link them here. You can put worksheets, screenshots straight into the doc and not even worry about a hyperlink. You can use Google Docs. You can tell them to work in classrooms. You can send them to any other app, and all they have to know is I'm going to the agenda to get there. So it really streamlines everything into one nice and neat place for you and for your students, so they don't get overwhelmed with, oh my gracious, I've lost what step I'm on. I don't even know what website I was supposed to go to. Everything is right there. Now, another thing using the Google Apps that I have done before is we're learning about vocabulary. And so let's say in one unit you might, or in 6 weeks, you may have, 50 to 60 words, all right? Well, I teach the same class in 3 different sections. So if you're similar to that, this may work. If it's not, you may have to modify it slightly. So what I created was the first 9 weeks vocabulary slide. I gave all my students access to it, and they were assigned one word. I even let them pick which word they wanted to do so that I knew I would get the best of what they wanted to offer. And each student was responsible for a word. They put their name on it. They gave me pictures, they gave me examples, and they gave me their best definition because, after all, they were only responsible for one of the words. All my chemistry students had access to this. So at the end, all my students had an access to a wonderful document that contained all the vocabulary that they were going to need to know for the 6 weeks. And they could refer back to this at any point. I again linked this into Classroom and my agenda so that the students didn't have to figure out where to go or anything like that. All they had to do was click a hyperlink. All right? So this is how you can merge docs, you can merge spreadsheet, you can merge slides and all of that into Google Classroom. All right? So Mr. Johnson is going to show you guys how to set up your own Google Classroom so that when you leave today, you guys will have one set up, and I'm going to kind of float around, so if you have any other questions, please feel free to grab me or ask me anything.
All right, now I will go ahead and say that if I were to set up a new classroom, I would do it probably using my computer, but I am going to try to show this on my iPad, and I don't have the white room anymore.
You can set it up over here if you want.
There's the white room. Okay, so now you are looking at my iPad. Okay, and I'm kind of the same place I think where you guys were. So I'm going to go to me just by clicking that, and I've got all the different classes that I'm a part of. Okay, so this is like the first screen that you came to, and you probably don't have all of this, and you can see I've got the physical science class that I have, the mini conference, chemical hygiene for you high school people, but in the upper right corner there's a plus, okay, and so if I click on the plus, and I'm doing that, you can see what I'm doing. It gives me this little window to join a class, which means I would be a student, or to create a class. And so as a teacher, you would hit create a class. Okay? And so I would give my class a title like Yay for Friday. You know, whatever. You might call it English 1 or Earth Science or whatever it is you teach. Okay? So I have my class, and I could give it a section if I wanted to. Like if I have 3 physical science classes, so I could call it first, second, and third or whatever. But once I have my class title and section, just hit create, and the class is made. Once the little bar gets all the way across. And it's ready for conversations in the class. Okay? And so you've got the 3 kind of buttons in the middle, the stream, the students, and the about. So if you click on the middle button, the students button, and you'll see you don't have any students in that class, but it gives you a class code. And so if I'm starting a new class, I would have a do now at the very beginning of my class with open up classroom, join the class with the class code, the same way that you joined this class with this class code. So my students would open up their Google Classroom, put in the class code, and then I would see them start streaming into my class that I have created, Yay for Friday, or whatever. And at that point, your class is ready for you to do whatever you want to do with it. Now, I'm kind of new to Classroom, and I'm kind of new to teaching on iPad and with all this technology, so I don't do everything that Kristen does. And so if you're kind of new to this and kind of going, wow, this is all great what she does, but I could never do that, you can get there, and I think that I will get there, but right now I'm not. And so, but I would have my classroom, but now it's ready to go. And that's all it takes to set up a classroom. If you're setting it up with your computer, which is easier, there's actually a blue invite button. And you can take about 5 minutes to go through your rosters and type in, the beginning of their name, and it'll show their Greene County email, and it will send them an email invitation. It takes a little bit longer, but it also doesn't require them to have to go through the code. They can open up their email, click the link, and they're in the classroom without having to do the code. So either way you want to do it. If you're comfortable with the iPad and setting it up that way, I would say go with it. But if you like the computer, and that's kind of more comfortable with you, And you can set it up that way also. Okay? And then you once you're there, you can do all or as much as or as little as you want. So maybe you should play around with it and try to create some sort of... Okay, so these bars up here, and then you click on your classes, and so you have the mini conference, you have the chemical hygiene, so the plus up at the upper right. Okay, so you click on that, plus, and that's asking you to join a class. Okay, so go back. Oh, so you're on Kristen's. Go to you, yes. Just click the check.
And I know one question that the teachers wanted to know last period was how to hyperlink into your Google Docs. Does anybody know how, or need to know how to do
Okay,
that?
let me look at something real quick.
Your, like,
But you're
whatever
saying
it
that's
is
her
that
iPad?
you're
That's your iPad,
doing
okay.
in, like, all the hyperlinks
So,
that I had
because
in
we're,
Google Docs.
no,
Do you guys know
see,
how to hyperlink in Google
I've got the
Docs?
same thing. So you're right. See, her picture's there because you're a student of hers.
Hey, John,
You don't want to.
turn your mirror
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. You don't want to see my iPad anymore? There you go.
Right, so if you go to whatever
So,
the web page is,
see, these are the classes that you're a student of.
copy the URL up there.
Oh, that's not allowing you to.
Like we're supposed to be setting up our own classes then,
The
right?
words are you want hyperlink. And
Okay.
then on the computer,
Okay, now,
you see this
if you
little
hit that
chain,
plus,
and you click that, and
It's
it
not-
opens this
no,
up, and then
go
you just
back.
paste that
Was I
in,
supposed to download anything else?
and click
No,
apply, and
it should allow
automatically
you to.
hyperlinks that. If you're looking for a specific app on the App Store and you want to hyperlink that so that it'll open in the App Store, I usually just go to Google, and then whatever the app is, I just type in the name of it, and then I type in
Yeah, that's
App
the
Store,
one.
and it's gonna always
No, you don't want
be
to add
the
an
one
account
that
because
looks
you
like
just
this,
want to
on
be
the
in.
App Store - iTunes Apple, and
Let's see.
it should look like this on the computer.
See, when I click on that
and if you
plus, it gives me that
hyperlink
window.
thing right there, and then open it on your iPad, it automatically opens in the App Store. So they won't
But
have,
yours
they won't
isn't
get a screen
doing
that looks
that.
like this. They'll get the
And I don't know
screen
why.
where it's like a box
I don't know.
where they're downloading it.
I wonder if it has anything to do with
And
that.
then you do the same
No.
process, just copy that right into wherever you're going.
Okay, you should have that thing on for the video, right?
And then just
Oh.